what students need to learn. Yeah. And we have 3 distinguished persons who are vast in that topic and they will bring us through. So, first on our list is Peter King Quay. Give it up for him. Peter King Quay. He is a certified AI governance expert, artificial intelligence expert, and a director of program and project at WAGNET. Peter King comes to this conversation serving as a digital media information strategist with 15 plus years of experience. He advises on AI policy, digital literacy, and civic technology, championing transparency and human rights in the responsible use of artificial intelligence across Africa. So he has a lot of things to share with you today. Give it up for him again one more time, please. Thank you. You guys already taking a seat. And the next person is Bashi Bia. That's the female I was telling you about, to balance our conversation. And who is she? Founder of Shishaka, a reading Miss Inter-University of Liberia. Miss Bia is a passionate youth development advocate who focuses on empowering girls and promoting informed citizenship. She brings a vital perspective on digital responsibility, helping young people navigate misinformation to strengthen democratic participation. Let's give it up for Ms. Bia, please. Thank you. And the last but not the least is a friend and brother. We know we all established the Latino Fact-checking Network. And this guy, I like him because he's forceful. When he's into something, he likes to see it work. He likes to see it work. That's the kind of guy he is. And I'm happy that we have him here today so that he can share some of his experience when it comes to these conversations. So let me now waste the time again to introduce my friend and brother, Taweh Johnson. Taweh Johnson. That's the guy that's coming. He's the founder and executive director of Campaign Against Misinformation and Disinformation in Liberia. Taweh is a professional media consultant who improves community resilience against false information. He previously served as the local consultant for Global Affairs Canada and NDI Social Impact Assessment on disinformation in Liberia. He brings extensive global and local training experience. Let's give it up for all of our panelists, please. These are our panelists, very young and professional. So, if there are 6 girls in the seats you are sitting in, please release them a little bit and relax yourself, because we are about to drink from a fountain of knowledge here today. These people, trust me, you will not regret sitting here. So before we go into that, we will say, ladies and gentlemen, right? Even though our lady is in the middle, but we'll let you start from her first. They will first present ask the questions you've been wanting to ask when Alpha told you to hold on yet. And maybe from some of the things they will be saying, you too can get your questions. So as the conversation is ongoing, just grab your pen and paper, write your questions down. There will be time for those questions to be answered. And the opportunity will be there for you to have an interaction with them. So let's now move straight to Ms. Bia so that she presents her case first. Ms. Bia, go ahead. You can say no problem.
Hi everyone. It's an honor to be here, and I'm very, very privileged to be seated here between two giants. Please don't continue, please. And to talk about this important topic, this information in Liberia is something that is very important, and I would like to say it's common. And I understand the impact of this information is very significant because this information has the capacity of putting two nations against each other and putting citizens against each other. I can break it down to your own local environment. Say for example you're female and you're living in a community and then somebody starts everything news about you. When it comes back to their attention, it makes you furious, and sometimes it even leads to a confusion, or even fighting, or even carrying somebody to the police station. So this information is important. It happens, it's common, and I'm privileged to also be here, to tackle some of those causes or some of the effects that this information can cause. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Guia. It's very important because it leads to what confusion and might get involved with security and what have you. So it's very much important that we have some knowledge about these things. So we switch quickly to Mr. Taweh. You can have the floor now, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to be here. This is where I did my master's program, so I said I'll come back to school. So let's go to. So my name is Lecky, and I'm the director of the program for the Satellite Action Network. Basically, when we come to the issue of AI, we have been trying to also sensitize people in our sector that happen to be in many communities across the world. And so part of it is to ensure that we give the kind of more interaction and issue of internet governance, issue of AI. AI has become something of a new trend, a new niche that is very real, that people either use it or they use it passively. So you need to understand the implication of using AI. It has some implications in your academic work. You cannot just go and tell AI to tell you how to do your research. There's an implication about it. It's an academic crime. You also need to understand that the use of AI has a limitation. You need to understand what you give the machine to produce for you. It's a machine to your expectation. So if you just go ask the machine to tell you what's for this day, maybe you don't call for maybe you know yesterday you need to, and the machines are telling how she needs to be looking down. So you need to understand what you give the machine, you're going to give it unless you become someone who has a huge idea about the prompts. These prompts are meant to make sure the machine works as a specification and make sure the machine puts a very good machine before the machine see what you can get. But beyond that, globally, this is only the trillion-dollar industry that we need to understand how to be part of it. The green AI, the ethical AI, ethical hacking, AI governance. We talk about policy issues. Policy issues of ethics, issues of information integrity. So, as students, journalists, at the intersection of technology, communication is one, being a media person is two. How do you use AI in all these sites where you got information from? There are so many cases people go and trial killers, and they really understand how AI is able to generate that. So, this is just a teacher of it. We are going to talk about as well as the questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Taweh. Thank you. So he talked about a few things. How we use AI is very important. That is the kind of prompt you give to it that is going to be able to learn as well how to use those prompts. And the way we use AI might have a positive or negative impact on us as person and students. So we got to be careful, because if you're too much involved into it now, it means you're getting yourself lazy. But that's what it there for him, Mr. Taweh. Let's now move now to Mr. Johnson. You have the stage.
Thank you, Johnson. Good afternoon. I am Taweh Johnson. I am the founder and executive director of Campaigners Against Disinformation and Disinformation in Liberia. This is a non-profit improving community resilience to false information. How many of you know the danger of false information? Let me just hear a show of hands. Do you know the danger of false information? Good. False information is deadly. It kills. False information makes people to make wrong decisions. But in fact, going further, let me thank the Local Voices Liberia, the European Union, and Internews for giving us this opportunity to come to you today to talk about the danger of disinformation and how we all can confront disinformation and what steps we can take to confront disinformation. Now, many of you are aware of the real-life consequences of disinformation. You have WhatsApp, you receive information every now and then. To talk about data, click the link here, click the link, you get scholarship. And you can see it. And most people believe is there. When you do that, you get affected by disinformation. So we look forward to a fruitful engagement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, our topic today is stopping disinformation to enhance democracy. The first question is, how does disinformation affect our country or our governance system? Any of you can also, let's start with Taweh first because we just ended. Taweh, let's go ahead.
So many ways, beyond elections, misinformation and disinformation matter. Because let's take for instance, public health. How many of you remember COVID now? COVID-19, Ebola. There were people, right, telling us to take, some substances that will take away COVID, the COVID will be gone. Some people say if you make your system warm, COVID will be gone. Many people acted on those types of information, and guess what? It led to their death, and this is not what we want. As an institution, as campaigners against misinformation and disinformation, we are improving community resilience to false information. Now, how does it affect public health? People cannot trust the healthcare delivery system. That alone, false information regarding health can lead to distrust in healthcare. When people are providing fake kills, false information regarding public health issues, people don't believe anymore in medical doctors, in the medical professionals. Let's go to infrastructure. Infrastructure, take for instance, when the government is building a particular infrastructure, now some people might come out and say, okay, when that infrastructure is completed, this group will now be able to use the infrastructure. This group will be ostracized. Do you know what that can do? That can fuel social disorder. People can even destroy the infrastructure. Let's go to the economy. False information can drive away potential investors. People will not want to come to Liberia when they keep seeing false information on social media. You remember the December 17 protest? Many of you were here. There were people using pictures, photos that took place way in Sierra Leone. You know what they were doing? They were having different captions. They came in there. Ain't see how they come there and stop. Ain't see all kind of things that were potential investors here. They drive away them. So this is how it also affects the economy, governance, and public health. Thank you.
Ms. Wia?
Thank you. First of all, I wanted to firstly define a very common sense what disinformation is, right? And when it comes to what democracy is. So disinformation in the common sense is just misleading information, right? What they are misleading information that is not true, information that is not factual. Now, what is democracy? The rule of the people. The will and desire of the people. Now, disinformation against democracy is deadly because it's going to affect the decision of the people. Now, when it comes to the government aspect or the governance aspect of our country, as it relates to people putting out this information, it affects us in so many ways. Take for instance, like he was saying, right? If surrounding the public health, sector, if we have a major outbreak, and then he mentioned the COVID-19, what about the monkeypox, right? Multiple outbreaks in Liberia, it was serious, people were dying, but then we all heard that, when they bring the vaccine, you guys should take the vaccine because we heard that, the white people are using it to experiment on Africans. So if put people in a position that they will resist those medications, they will not trust their health practitioner, and it will lead to the misdirection or the redirection of funds. Now, coming to the infrastructure part, like he said, if somebody put out the wrong information and say, okay, the country is corrupt, or this government is corrupt, there is corruption, it's going to limit public participation when it comes to infrastructure, right? It's going to cause mistrust in people. People will not even trust the process, they're not even feel excited to wait and accept the process. So with this information, it's very severe, it's very serious, and like I said earlier, it can lead to a lot of huge crises. Thank you.
It will lead to a lot of huge crises. It kills, it's dangerous. We need to be very mindful of the kind of information we share and we believe. Mr. Quinn.
Yes, so looking at the topic itself, for me, I have been a part of this journalism story. So if you look at the issue of disinformation and democracy, so tell me what is democracy? Government by the people, for the people, and it's all the people centered. Why disinformation in our society become more and more appropriate? Because we have a vulnerable society. A society where people just want to know the negatives. The negatives are part of the disinformation. So it's just common sense. As students, we need to be beyond just ordinary hearsay. And these hearsay are what our local people say as well. Gossip, or they say the rest. So in a very different way that you as a student can fight or support or stop this kind of process is to always check with people who, first of all, do not even know which part to play in the information you give you. Because if you have someone giving information about the executive mansion, do you work there? Okay, I read it on e-mansion. How well do you assimilate what you read is another issue. So we need to have ways to check things that people do not to us. In our effort to stop disinformation as students, we must always calibrate what we get out from the people. If you're in a Facebook chat room, maybe the source of who is the person pushing our message. The school want to have maybe end of year party as one of our first workers. Who do you expect or who is the right person to get information from? So identifying the information in the channel is also key to stop disinformation. We don't want to, if we high level communication studies say that people work called grapevine, and these are all informal communication channels that you do not want to leverage your understanding, your ability to do something different with that. That's one. So why am I saying this? Because we are here to give you an idea of how to stop disinformation as students. As a communicator, you will also be careful. Always verify the source. If it's communication, if it's online, you always have to trust what you want to do. It comes in so many forms. So as a student journalist also, you need to understand the common and the basis of journalism, which is the ABC. So while I will all these settled, because I think we have a lot of different people here, but the key or the trust of this is how to stop disinformation. So you need to be careful of what you train out. You know, in some family, the father and mother only listen to this, the child is in the school. Why do you do that? Are you a woman here? Are you a woman here? So it means that you are being given a level of mind trust. So your end based on the fact that you are a student. So the family will now say, our woman or can't see that, can't tell this. My son can't look at my phone. Well, how do you check the credit? I'm going on this one because we as students have been given a lot of trust our family. So in the quest to hold up our democracy in our country as students, you play a vital role. You correct people who you see in their direction talking what they want to talk because of what they want to see. In your school, you find people always listen to the lecture talking. You have scope of what you're talking about. Because that misinformation, you take it from here, you put another person in here, respond, things be. You are helping that person to gain needless notoriety, needless disinformation where it's intentional and yet no one ever let use. Let me carry it. You are becoming a part of it.
Thank you. You need to be careful how we spread information. He says we always need to know the author. When Anthony Alpha was here, when talking about Fact-check 101, he was very keen on the sources or the source of information. These are very important points you need to take into consideration in order to verify information. Because he put it right there, if you do not work at the executive mansion, how are you sharing this with me? What's in it for me to believe that what you are saying is the truth? So we need to be on our guard for these things. Our next question to all of you, and we'll start with you, Mr. Quay, and it has to do with what are your thoughts about this whole misinformation in our country? Do you think these sort of forums are just sufficient enough at the level of university, or do you think we need to go beyond this and going down to the high school level in order to ensure that our society is free and safe from these menaces?
Okay, so once again, I don't know what I'm saying now, right? However, as I people ask the question, we believe in one stakeholder approach to this. When I say one stakeholder, it means that we believe every stakeholder plays a part. We have the youth, civil society, we have academia, or the students, we have the media, we have people from civil society. I'm from civil society. As I said, I'm from a very big community. I'll tell you about the community later. But yes, this is the beginning and one of the major steps towards ensuring that we strengthen the knowledge of disinformation, hate speech, malinformation. Trust me, you guys have become a source of refuge to family. Your family believes in what we're doing. Let me tell you what we're doing. Why do you think when someone graduates from K1, how do you K2? Yes, it started with K2. And then let's just see, recently the guys are doing the wire. Why would they pass around the car, paying people down the car? Do you actually know? Because they have not made a family to be proud of them. So once they are a student, this is why we need to start the conversation here. You have what we call a multiplier. Your information you give, people respect it. So when we are able to channel the right information through the students, we are going to go. Because you are in maybe, let's just say, Kingsville, you have people you communicate with them, so we are multiplying. And this is a stakeholder approach. The last time also we had about communication students in Kingsville. So the conversation should continue, should be intentional, because the people or the youth makes almost 62 to 80% of our population. And once we can get them to take the truth, we are the future is bright. So this is the beginning. We even need to trickle down to the junior high, because they also are very vulnerable. We need to continuously engage everyone. The sector starts with academia. Academia have been left out of the picture for a very long time. We believe that only the very sharp people should be able to get information, only maybe the ministers are. No, this is where the future of our country is. We must elect the next lawmaker. It could be this lady. We must elect the next maybe press secretary. It could be this person. So we need to continuously be intentional about it. We're going to engage the student. Let's see how beyond the classroom wall, this is some of the extracurricular activity that we believe sets the pace to correct what we didn't get in the classroom, to maybe strengthen what we got in the classroom. Then the discussion continues. This is
still with you. All of us will have the opportunity still with you. Do you think there's a need to incorporate these things in our curriculum at maybe at the tertiary level or high school level or junior high? What are your thoughts?
Our country are more really have something in that, but this will always be essential curriculum activity, because we have a lot of hours. I mean, some of you are doing 10 grade hours, 5 grade hours. I mean, I really didn't do much of high school and so university first level, I didn't know that we have a lot to carry on. We carry a lot of credits. So for us to add a special class or a special course to go and do planning, building for only this information is going to be something of no gain. People choose courses. In fact, it's very strange. Some people here chose to become a friend with that session. Trust me. Who is guilty of that? Someone chose this course because I don't like this teacher. So we need to be very practical about certain. The world is not waiting for who you like in your classroom. The world is looking for who is prepared with a lot of information. that is ready to pick up or to react to an opportunity. It's not ready for you. If you don't like a teacher in that class, just say that I don't want to teach you. If you think on Saturday that class alone is the class that you will have to go through, why am I saying that? Because you need all the extra curriculum, learning this. You go to other schools. In fact, I'm just surprised. I thought people would be very funny. You know, I have a program in Sierra Leone, a program in Ghana. University students in the University of Ghana will not let this be having any space here. This place will be choked to the level that the presenter was not even be able to leave. We must be hungry for extra knowledge in our country, please. We need the students to take this forums very, very important as an extra curriculum learning free of charge. People pay for this. You go to the University of Ibadan, University of Ilorin, University of Ghana, UPSA, even Lincoln Point in Sierra Leone. I have seen this now. Nobody now this information. This is direct information. I've been there, I can show you picture. It's very important. So please, we need to do this continuously. I'm not subscribing for the school to add only already exhausted 2 to 22 hours, but take advantage of it. Because something will drop here that you will go out of you get in your classroom.
Okay, we need to continue the process. This is important, but I do not support that it be incorporated into our curriculum. Mr. Peter King Quay. Taweh, let's hear you.
Thank you. So I disagree with Peter King because this has to be a deliberate approach. First thing, before we go any further, I know the presentation, some of you heard about the definition of misinformation, correct? Do we clearly understand now what misinformation is, what disinformation is? Are we clear on that? Alright, so misinformation again is the unintentional spread of false information, right? And disinformation is the deliberate spread of false information. Alright, so now, I don't agree with Peter King. We need to be deliberate when it comes to addressing the issue of false information and network. Students, most students now have smartphones, right? And have multiple social media accounts. Ladies have more than 5, 6, right? Men, maybe they have 2, right? 2 at most 3, but the ladies might have 5, 6, right? You name it. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. It goes on and on. So we have to be very specific as to how we approach this information, because many of these students use smartphones and have multiple social media accounts, but the missing link is they don't know how to verify information. So this can lead to the spread of false information. So what we need to do is to include media and digital literacy education in our national curriculum. When we do that, it reaches to the students. The students will not leave high school without knowing how to authenticate an image, without knowing how to critically analyze information. So that is what we have to do now. Besides, what we also need to do, we need to include people with disabilities. I made a mistake and went to the auditorium there, right? You see the stairs? This building is not disability friendly. That's stairs. How many people who use a wheelchair can go up there? So those who were constructing that building, they were hiring 10 people with disabilities. But we are organizing such initiatives for students with disabilities. Because you know, people with disabilities are extremely vulnerable to false information. So we need to include community engagement, invite them, ensure that they form part of such a gathering. We don't have many students with disabilities here at AMEU, do we? Because I'm not seeing anyone in the audience. So we need to be deliberate. They too use digital platforms. They too are affected by false information. So we have to be very, very, very deliberate in confronting false information. Disinformation. Thank you.
We have to be deliberate in confronting this and misinformation. I do not agree with Mr. Quay that we should not incorporate that. Now the debate is getting interesting. Quay agrees?
No, I think he got me wrong. I'm not saying that we should include it. I'm saying that what they have to do our...
Your time will come.
No, let me be clear about
Go ahead.
My brother want to go me on his point. This issue of adding legal literacy in the rest. Some of you already So these are all topics that you find, but to make it like or still a room close to where we are going to have to go. Am I wrong? Because normally I know I got to do mathematics alone. So if it's embedded, it's already embedded. But for you, that is something. Are you willing for you choose this communication, alone as an extra course and school maybe 3 hours on it? No, I'm asking the research.
Okay. Yeah, so
you're so passionate about it.
Yeah.
What I'm really also providing.
And I
Will you see that as opposed to come and set it on down alone?
Yeah, so there are requirements
On a composition.
communication. So for example, we have French as a requirement and we do that. Many students
You said French? It's an international language. It's a monogram. You talk about a topic of communication, which is disinformation, and yes, you will see it again French.
okay, Mr. Quaid. There will be time for question and answer, please. I know the debate is very interesting. He says, even though he's not only against this topic being introduced, but it should not stay as a room code that for you to say, I'm going to the university to make your only in this and this information. That was says, it should be incorporated. I will be incorporated. The idea is, let's get it incorporated. Let's start from the root so that we can address this situation. Let's hear from our only lady. Have the floor.
Thank you. I didn't know this was a debate forum. And I actually understood what he was saying, right? He's not saying, he's actually against the part of us making this as a specific course, but it could be a topic. You understand? It could be a topic on something else that you are already doing, but for it to be a specific course, for instance, I'm supposed to take, let's say, prepare course. For this to be a specific topic, how many people could do prepare course in your middle class? They feel like it's not part of it. So it should just be, even if I can go with, okay, it should be a topic for every other course, like if you're doing management, you do a topic on management, if you're doing physics, you do a topic on physics, just to spread the word out, I can agree with that. But for this to be a specific course, I don't think even me, I wouldn't have the patience to do that. But yes, but then again, I think that from his question, to address this question, this is a topic that should be widely discussed continuously, right? It will even go down to the elementary level because the elementary is where people foundation are being built, right? So if you reach that level where you start building the foundation and making them accustomed to what this information is and what it does and what effect it has on you personally in the nationwide is very, very important because therefore I don't want us to keep looking at this on a whole maybe or universal level, let's say politically or the entire country at large. Even you yourself, like I stated personally when I was opening, right? You yourself need to know the importance of this information and how it affects, even you as an individual. Because if you just take news as not action, you start running with it, it poses a big problem. Right? And from that stage, they start growing until they reach the universal level. So yes, I think this should be a topic that should be widely discussed continuously, even in the elementary level and high school level. Thank you.
This topic must be discussed continuously at every level of our society because it creates the space for all of us to have a broader idea about what we are confronting. That's from her. Yes, we have to say thank you. Now, we're beginning with you.
Sorry for the song.
Yeah, I know that this one is, I have to experience it. Beginning with you.